Hello and welcome to Bags of Action. This is a 5-minute review. My name's Steve and today I'm reviewing Edge of Darkness from 2010. The film stars Mel Gibson in the leading role and is directed by Martin Campbell, who has directed a number of well-known films including Casino Royale, Vertical Limit, and more recently The Foreigner starring Jackie Chan. He also directed the original Edge of Darkness TV series, upon which this film was based, which originally came out in 1985 on the BBC, and for which he won a BAFTA. On the surface, this film looks like just another revenge action thriller, where the main character, Thomas Craven, played by Mel Gibson, seeks revenge for the murder of his daughter. He's a Boston police officer, and someone shoots her at the front door when he stood right next to her. And at first it's assumed the shooter missed and went for him and accidentally caught his daughter, and it's tied up with an ongoing investigation. What quickly becomes apparent is that the murder has nothing to do with him, and it's all to do with his daughter. The film then transforms into a social and political thriller rather than a straight revenge film. Craven starts investigating the murder of his daughter and begins to find a number of clues that point to various groups that were involved with her, of which he had no knowledge. There's also the fact that he finds out his daughter's body is radioactive and she's been exposed to something. As Craven begins digging deeper and deeper into what his daughter is doing, his investigation catches the attention of some very powerful people, both in the local area and also higher up, connected to government. And they have a man who deals with this sort of thing called Jedburgh, played by Ray Winstone. He's a fixer that takes care of people, gets them out of the picture and stops any embarrassment coming back to the government. He's told to take care of Craven, but rather than just eliminating, he sits down and has a conversation with Mel Gibson's character to find out what is really going on from his perspective. You're never really completely sure of Ray Winstone's motivations, and at times it seems as if he is siding with Mel Gibson's character and he's going to help him, but then he'll sit down with a meeting with some of the people behind this shadowy conspiracy and tell them what they need to do to get rid of the problem and what he intends to do himself to make it all go away. Craven is utterly relentless and he has nothing to lose at this point because they've taken away the only thing that matters to him in his life. He doesn't care about his job, he doesn't have any other family or a wife. All he wants to know is who killed his daughter and why, and he's willing to go to any lengths to get the answers. From looking at the figures, I can see that the film did just okay at the box office, and I can sort of understand why. Not because there's anything particularly wrong with the film, but that there's a lot of material to explore, and the original TV series was 6 one-hour episodes, so they've obviously had to cut quite a lot out of this to get it down to a 2-hour film. Throughout the film, Mel Gibson is convincing as a grieving father who then begins having mild hallucinations, seeing his young daughter in various moments from their life together, thinking about all that he's lost. The simmering rage that he has that's bubbling just under the surface, you can see it in every part of his performance, from where he holds himself to his eyes, to the sometimes explosive action and what he does in order to get answers. The film also touches on a number of more nebulous issues such as what a life is worth, price of power, legacy, and if sometimes those in power go a step too far. The cast in this film is really good. The performances across the board are solid. Ray Winstone keeps Mel Gibson completely on his toes, so he never really knows whose side he's on and who he's going to help. Even though Craven is walking into something that he doesn't really understand and is much bigger than him, he's going to keep going. And those people opposed to him quickly realise they're going to have to do something about him because this guy just won't stop. Overall, I really enjoyed this film. It kept me entertained. It was quite gripping at times and very tense. There's a lot going on, so you can't really just sit back and let this film wash over you. You have to pay attention to the plot. But there's definitely a lot more in here they could have explored, which they obviously had time and space to do in the original TV miniseries. But nevertheless, this film is definitely worth your time, so I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 5. Have you seen Edge of Darkness? If so, what do you think? Get in touch with us in the usual way. You can contact us on Twitter, join the Facebook group, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave your comments below.